From secret heavy tanks to amphibious armor, these are the machines that conquered Asia. This is the complete catalog of every Japanese vehicle used in World War II. Let's start with light tanks. First is the Type 92 Jusakosha, one of Japan's first indigenous designs. Though called a heavy armored car, it was essentially a tankette. It famously participated in the Battle of Rihi in 1933. Its suspension often failed at high speeds, but it laid the groundwork for future designs. Next, the Type 94 TK, the beam tank. Designed as an armored ammunition carrier, it was so small it could be towed by a truck. In China, it was used for infantry support, but by the Pacific War, its armor could be penetrated by standard rifle fire at close range. The Type 97 Teiku, the replacement for the Type 94. It moved the engine to the rear and upgraded the armament to a 37mm gun. Faster and with a lower profile, the Teiku was a dangerous scout that wreaked havoc on unprepared Allied lines during the invasion of Malaya. The Type 95 Hago, the most produced Japanese tank of the war. Over 2,000 were built. It was fast, reliable, and perfect for jungle warfare where heavy Allied tanks couldn't go. However, its thin armor made it vulnerable to everything from bazookas to heavy machine guns. The Type 98 Kuinai, designed to replace the Hago. It was faster, lighter, and featured welded armor. Despite being a better tank, production issues meant it never fully replaced its predecessor. The Type 2 Kutu, an improvement on the Kuinai with a better gun. Only a handful were produced late in the war, mostly reserved for the defense of the home islands. Now let's move on to medium tanks. Type 89 Igo, the grandfather of Japanese armor. Built in the late 1920s, it had a distinct World War I style trench crossing tail. It was the world's first mass-produced diesel tank, but by 1941, it was hopelessly obsolete. The Type 97 Chiha, the Icon. This was the backbone of the Imperial Armored Divisions. Its low-velocity 57mm gun was excellent for blasting bunkers in China but useless against other tanks. The Type 97 Kai Shinhodo, literally meaning new turret. After the disaster at Namenhen against Soviet armor, Japan upgraded the Chiha with a high-velocity 47mm gun. This became the only Japanese tank capable of fighting early Allied armor on somewhat equal terms. The Type 1 Chihi, a complete modernization. It featured welded armor, a radio in every tank, and a crew of 5. It was statistically superior to the American M3 Stuart, but it arrived too late to make a difference. The Type 3 Chinu, Japan's last line of defense. Desperate for something to kill M4 Shermans, engineers mounted a massive 75mm field gun onto a modified Chihi chassis. They were held back in Japan for the decisive battle that never happened. Next, let's look at amphibious armor. First is the Type 2 Kami, based on the Hago light tank. It used large, hollow pontoons attached to the front and rear to float. Once it hit the beach, the crew would jettison the pontoons from inside the tank, instantly converting it into a ground combat vehicle. The Type 3 Kachi, the Kami's big brother. Based on the Chihi medium tank, this monster was fully submersible with a snorkel tower for the engine. It was designed to be launched from submarines miles off the coast to surprise island garrisons. The Type 4 Katsu, a bizarre hybrid. This was an amphibious tractor armed with 2 torpedoes. The plan was to air transport them to islands, have them swim out to sea, and attack anchored American warships. The plan was never executed. Moving on to tank destroyers and self-propelled guns. The Type 1 Hoenai I, Japan's answer to the German Marder. A 75mm field gun mounted in an open casemate on a Chiha hull. Powerful, but the crew was exposed to shrapnel and sniper fire. The Type 1 Hoenai II, similar to the Hoenai I, but mounting a 105mm howitzer for indirect fire support. The Type 3 Hoenai III, the definitive tank destroyer. It finally enclosed the crew in a fully armored casemate and mounted a high-velocity gun specifically for tank hunting. The Type 4 Horo, the bunker buster, armed with a short-barreled 150mm howitzer usually found on warships. It fired a massive high-explosive shell that could disable a tank through sheer concussive force. The Type 5 Natu, a late-war desperation weapon. It mounted a 75mm anti-tank gun on a track transport carrier. It was cheap to produce but offered almost no protection. Now let's examine the heavy tanks and prototypes. The Type 4 Chitu, the medium tank that could have rivaled the Panther. 30 tons, heavy armor, and a long 75mm gun. Only 2 were completed. At the end of the war, they were dumped into Lake Hamana to prevent capture. The Type 5 Chiri, a massive evolution of the Chitu. It featured a semi-automatic loader for its main gun and a secondary 37mm cannon in the hull. A single prototype was captured by Americans, minus its main gun, ending the dream of a Japanese heavy cruiser on land. The OI Super Heavy, the legend, weighing in at a proposed 150 tons, with thick armor and multiple turrets, it was a land battleship designed to crush the Soviet Union. Reports suggest one prototype was built and tested in Manchuria, but all evidence was destroyed before the surrender. Finally, let's look at logistics and support vehicles. The Isuzu Type 94, the six-wheeled workhorse of the Imperial Army. Rugged and simple, it carried the supplies that fueled the expansion into China. The Toyota Type 1 Kilobyte, a 4x4 utilitarian truck that served in all theaters. The Type 98 Roku, a fast artillery prime mover. Since Japanese tanks were small, they needed dedicated track tractors like the Roku to haul heavy siege guns through the mud. The Type 95 Kurogane, the world's first four-wheel drive scout car, predating the Jeep. Small, rounded, and beloved by officers, it was the symbol of Japanese mobility. The Rikuo Type 97 motorcycle, a licensed copy of the Harley-Davidson. These bikes were crucial for couriers and were often equipped with sidecars mounting light machine guns. The SSK Bogata, perhaps the most versatile engineering vehicle. Based on a tank hull, it carried a bridge layer, but could also be fitted with mine-clearing plows or even 3 flamethrowers for clearing bunkers. It was the Swiss Army knife of the engineering corps. Which of these vehicles would you want to see in a museum? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more complete vehicle catalogs.